Hi, my name is Sharon Costa, and this is my first YouTube video on my YouTube channel. The name of my company is Violets, and Violets is also the name of my studio. I created this studio for myself to create, but also for other women to create. And through almost 50 years of being an artist, I know the importance of having your own space. I've gone through changing diapers with one hand and a hot glue in the other hand. And it's so important to have your space where you can just leave everything until the next day and not have to pack it up. When you have to pack it up, sometimes you're not as apt to start that project the next day. So I understand that sometimes people just don't have the space. They don't have the basement. They don't have the shed or the garage. So they can come here. And what I do is I'm an avid collector of junk. I do things with junk, things that other people don't want. And I guess what really started me on this was I live in Carroll County, Maryland, and next to the dump, they had a recycle center, and it was like 3 big garages, and it was filled with things that people wanted to get rid of. They didn't want to dump it and it never be used again. They wanted someone to have it. It was somewhat precious to them. So they would just let people come in, and there was no exchange of money. You just took what you want. You drop off things. I would bring stacks of books home and look through them, and whatever I didn't want, I would just take back there. I found some really cool things there. I made a lot of money reselling things there on eBay. It did get a little bit crazy, though, because this was about 5 years ago, and people would make it their business to be there all day long to sell the stuff on eBay, and that's really not what it was intended for. As far as books go, my son was going to college, and I said, you know what? We're going to sell books. So we opened up a half.com account, and we sold books. And the books that we sold were all free, and they paid for not his tuition, but his books every year, and books are so expensive. And we got to know when to go look for the books, and there's a million books out there that college students in the beginning of the year they get rid of from last year, and especially at the end of the year. They have these books, they're moving on, they don't know what to do with them, their parents don't know what to do with them, so they dump them. One of the great things for me was to find things that older children would clean out their parents' houses, and as they were moving on to retirement homes, and they would throw away a lot of their stuff that meant nothing to them, but perhaps did mean something to the parents. So it was kind of sad. I would find love letters. I would find books with pressed roses and pressed corsages in them. So it was kind of neat and kind of sad in the same sense. But some of the things were 200-year-old books and coins and you name it, it was there. So it was even to the point where if I would go and see a great piece of furniture, I would get it, and if the top was all ripply, that can just be removed very easily with an iron, a regular iron. You can steam the top of it off. Also, the hardware. By putting junk together, and mostly old junk, you need old hardware. You don't want to put a bright, shiny screw, in a table that you just made out of an old window and a shabby chic pedestal or whatever. So I would use the hardware, and I would actually even take off knobs and handles right before the stuff would go to the dump. I think they would let the stuff sit for a week, and at the end of the week, whatever didn't sell or whatever people didn't take, they would actually take to the dump. So I carried a toolbox with me, and I always had all the tools, and I would go and take my little knobs off and my little handles off, and then reuse them. It was kind of my way of recycling. So other women can bring their junk here and create things, and I provide the tools, I provide the hardware, and I provide the studio and the instruction, and then they leave with the finished piece. So when this video is done, I'm going to show you some pictures of a couple different pieces that I did so that you could see what I'm talking about, and it's totally about recreating and turning things into art. And I think that art is whatever you want it to be. If you create something, it's art. And it reminds me of the movie Mona Lisa Smiles, when Julia Roberts was trying to get through to these rich girls that they knew their art, they knew everything before she even started teaching, and she did a slideshow And she said, "Is this art?" And they all said, "No, no, no." And then she put up a picture. It was of a cow and a sunshine. And she said, "Is this art?" And one of the kids said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, I did it when I was 5, and my mother thought it was art." So it's like, whatever is art in your heart, that's what art is. And handmade gifts are just the best. And it just amazes me, the things that you can buy now at Marshall's and Home Goods and places like that, that are all reproductions, and they do work into our antique and refurbished things. And a lot of it is just simply the recreating of what other people did, you know, the old postcards on the trunks and things like that. So we're going to be doing decoupaging, we're going to be doing mosaics. I'd love to hit on a little bit of painting, because a little bit of painting, just know the techniques and how to hold the brush and the right tools. That's all you need to paint. You don't need to be an artist. Many people have told me, "I can't even paint a straight line." I can't even paint a straight line. Nobody can paint a straight line. But it's just trying it for the first time. And the hardest thing, even when you're doing a mural, is to take that brush and put it on that wall and make that first little dot. Then you're free. Then you're free to just paint, paint, paint. The awesome thing about paint is you can just paint right over it if you don't like it. So I'm going to teach a little bit of that and a little bit about murals. And as far as murals go, you know, you can pull a comic book if you have a son and he's into the comics, Spider-Man or whatever, and you pull this wonderful picture out and you want it to be on the wall and you don't even know where to begin. Well, there's little graphs that you can make and little charts where you can have everything even and everything straight, and it's a lot easier than what you think it is. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be building lamps. We're going to be building tables, a little bit of drawing, chairs. I have some old rusty chairs that we're going to turn into planters. We're also going to be doing floral design. I have gardens and gardens of beautiful flowers. So all of our pieces that we make will be for sale, and you can buy them on my website, which is www.sharoncosta.com. So I will talk to you soon, and we'll start getting those projects up. Each project will be a different episode. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye.